Hey friends, and Happy New Year from an absolutely beautiful day here in Watercolor, Florida. I'm currently taking a stroll along one of the nature trails by Western Lake, and it's just so beautiful this time of year. Not that 38 ever really has a slow season, but this time of year there are definitely less people, and it's just so peaceful when the weather's this nice. So it is a new year, and we have all the data from 2023 to make informed decisions about what we think is going to happen coming into a new year. There's been so much speculation over the past year. There's been a whole lot of doom and gloom spelled out about 2023, like it's going to be 2008 2.0 and all this crash and everything, all the things that never happened. I'm going to tell you what 2023 was. 2023 was an adjustment year, okay? Coming off of the unicorn years of 2020, 2021, 2022, where we saw massive appreciation gains, record number sales, this area just exploded. During the COVID era, that's what happened. Everybody wanted to be here, and everybody was scooping up as much property as they could. That was unsustainable. 2023 was the year that stabilized that. So the biggest key of that we saw was inventory. I mean, during the peak of unicorn years, you would list a property and the same day would have multiple offers and sell for over asking. 2023 was the counteraction to that. So we saw inventory come up, interest rates went up, so buyers backed off, and the market cooled. It did not crash, it cooled and corrected. Now, something interesting about that is even despite our inventory going up as high as it did, we still had appreciation. Properties on average still appreciated around 3 to 4%. Now, I've had so many people say like, oh, but I've seen so many price adjustments, so many people dropping their prices down, so that must be indicative of depreciation or a crash. No, and I'll tell you why. Anytime you see prices adjust like that, what you're simply looking at is sellers acknowledging, hopefully with the guidance of a good real estate agent, that the market does not support the asking price that they were at. So really all that is just an adjustment down to market value. If you look at the actual sale price, the average sale price, it has appreciated around 3 to 4% over the year. So you can't look at the list price, you have to pay attention to the sold price. But touching back on inventory, we saw it come up, and in the last few months, we've seen it start to taper down. Strangely enough, coinciding with interest rates finally coming down. Right now, we're hovering around 6.5%, 7%, depending on the day, and that is going to be a huge bonus for buyers who have been waiting. Buyers who have been not sure what to do because they weren't sure if interest rates were going to keep going up, if they were going to go down, if we were going to see a crash. There was so much information floating out there and so many talking heads trying to talk about it that buyers were just apprehensive. People don't move when they are confused, and that's why we put these videos and this information out. We want to give clarity so people know what is actually happening in the market. But touching back on interest rates, if you are a buyer who has been waiting for interest rates, specifically for interest rates, if you could afford it before, but you didn't want to do it because you thought the rates might come down, the next 90 days are going to be absolutely crucial because come springtime, specifically spring break, if you're familiar with 30A, you know that this area is going to be flooded with people. And anytime we have a busy tourism market here, our buyer demand goes up. People are here and they remember why they love it so much. Buyer demand always goes up come springtime. Add that to the fact that interest rates are finally coming down and the Fed has announced that there are going to be more rate drops as the year goes on. That effect is going to be compounded. We add those factors together. We've got an inventory that is coming back down, so less availability on the market, less properties coming on the market, and more buyers coming out. Increased demand, decreased supply. Economics 101 says that is going to drive prices up. And it's not hard to believe. If you've been here, you know that this area is not going anywhere. It's not slowing down. Developments are moving ahead full charge. And this area just becomes more and more and more desirable. It gets more and more traction in the mainstream news. We've been labeled the Hamptons of the South. We have $25 million Gulfront properties. This area is not losing anybody's interest anytime soon. Again, if you are a buyer who has been waiting specifically because of interest rates, the next 90 days will be crucial because you're going to beat the rush. You're going to beat all the other buyers who are going to wait even longer and drive prices up. And something else to keep in mind, our average negotiation right now is around 94%. What does that mean? Well, it means that sellers are still offering concessions. They're still offering incentives for buyers to make an offer. As buyer demand goes up and there's competition, sellers are going to be less inclined. They don't need to offer anything to you as a buyer because they have somebody else waiting to make another offer. Right now is the time to beat that rush. Now, I know what you're thinking, seeing that you're like, oh, Russell, you're an agent. Of course, you're always going to say now's a good time. Every situation's unique, and all we ever want to do is give clarity. We want to help people know that they're making the best decision that they possibly can, understand all the factors, understand what the process looks like, and that's something that we want to be able to help you with. All that said, I think it's going to be an amazing year, 2024, here on 30A. Whether you are a buyer or a seller, Blaine and myself, or anyone on the Live 30A team, are always happy to help give you clarity and give you an idea of what these actual processes can look like and what your realistic expectations can be. As always, I hope you and your family have an amazing year that is full of prosperity and blessings. If there's any questions you have about the 30A market or just 30A in general, doesn't even have to be real estate, please reach out. We are always happy to help, and I hope all of you have a blessed day. Take care.